Brownfield commodity market reporter John Perkins with the closing market minute for Monday, June 16th. Soybeans ended the session steady to firm on spread trade and the strength in soybean oil, which saw another round of steep gains connected to last week's bullish RVO numbers. Meanwhile, soybean meal coasted to new lows on concerns about supply and those expectations for an increased soybean crush to meet bean oil demand expectations. Past that, soybeans continue to wait for any new news on tariff talks between the United States and China while watching U.S. crop weather. Corn did end the session lower, pressured by the generally favorable crop conditions in much of the Midwest and Plains. By the close on Monday, the trade was expecting the USDA to report another week-to-week improvement in the USDA's crop condition rating. Past that, export demand continues to be solid. And wheat did close lower, with Chicago and Kansas City watching the U.S. winter wheat harvest pace, and Minneapolis waiting to see what happens with rainfall in the northern U.S. plains and the Canadian prairies. Live and feeder cattle were sharply higher, with box beef up sharply at midday, seeing some support from last week's direct cash cattle business while waiting for this week's show list to get fully distributed. And at least initially, that show list does look larger than last week in all of the major feeding areas. And hogs closed higher, supported by the cash and wholesale fundamentals during the session. Cash business was sharply higher during the session on Monday, and pork was up at midday. With the closing market minute for Monday, June 16th, I'm Brownfield commodity market reporter John Perkins.